Former Chief Justice joins fight against coal mining. Emerging entrepreneurs get an insight into cryptocurrency. And elite performance coaches prepare for 2019 Pacific Games ended today.
This is the National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Sunday's news. The disadvantage of deep-sea mining and coal mining in PNG outweighs the benefits they will have on the people's lives. This was the message from the former Chief Justice Sir Arnold Ahmet during the launching of the No Coal in PNG campaign on Monday. He said due to personal political interests, some politicians focus on short-term economic benefits rather than long-term benefits.
Deep-sea mining and coal mining are both new industries in Papua New Guinea. In the No Coal in PNG campaign that was launched on Monday, the former Chief Justice, who fully supports the campaign, says the two industries will not have much economic benefits for the people. The coal mining in the Gulf province will provide up to 300 employment opportunity, and the deep-sea mining in the New Island province will operate for only 3 years, which will not generate enough revenue for the country.
The benefits to this industry is insignificant and is outweighed by the consequences, the drastic potential consequences to our environment, to climate change and to the lives of our people.
The former Chief Justice also stressed on some of the environmental impacts the industries will have on the environment. He says the bad gas emission from the industries contributes to global warming and the rise in sea level which some maritime provinces in the country are facing.
What that will do to our environment, where temperatures keep rising worldwide due to the greenhouse gases being trapped because we emit more than what naturally is adequate. So temperatures will increase as we're experiencing in our country. It's more humid. We're near the border here. Droughts are becoming longer and more extreme.
The former Chief Justice is now a civil servant who advocates against deep-sea mining and other pressing issues affecting the people. He pledged his support, saying he will help this campaign in providing legal assistance to Selco in addressing this issue. Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
A two-day blockchain startup workshop ended on Friday with the launching of a blockchain initiative, Be Well. The workshop was facilitated by John David of Crypto Tech Consultancy Ventures. Tamara Agavi with the details.
Crypto Tech Ventures are a group of subject experts, trainers, consultants, and entrepreneurs who carry out initiatives to empower and advocate emerging entrepreneurs. This is made possible through the emerging technology of blockchain and crypto assets.
And if you look into it, blockchain came into picture when Bitcoin was introduced. All right. So Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer technology, am I right? So it is a peer-to-peer system where with blockchain today, you can actually eliminate the intermediaries, where you can actually have a peer-to-peer transaction with anyone around the world.
Blockchain is a digital ledger of economic transactions that can be programmed to record financial transactions, but virtually everything that is of value.
We are looking at probably a trend where different nations or different countries and different central authority will start to produce their own digital currency to replace the fiat currency probably in the next 5 to 10 years. So things is going to change, and this is the evolution of money that is actually taking place today. That's right. So from paper money, we have moved to credit, plastic money, and from plastic money, we are going cashless. But apart from just going cashless, now we are going fully digital by using crypto assets. Am I right? And this crypto asset is basically empowered by blockchain technology.
David said that cryptocurrencies is a new and effective way of transactions that is of greater transparency and is taking the digital global market by storm. Tamara Agavi, National EMTV News.
11 police officers were arrested, charged and locked up yesterday at the Berroco police station for being in possession of items stolen from the parliament. This was after the police task force received critical information and acted upon it. They secured a search warrant and searched a number of houses at Kila Barracks and recovered the items. Other items were also recovered at homes of policemen based in Badili police station. 10 of the policemen that were arrested were members of the PNG police band based at Kila Barracks, whilst the 11th was a policeman based at Badili police station. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero says whatever information and suspects arrested will be handed over to the investigation team set by the police commissioner so that appropriate charges will be laid on those responsible. The police commissioner commended the Metropolitan Superintendent, saying the investigation is ongoing and more policemen will be arrested for their involvement in the rampage, destruction and looting of the National Parliament. You're with Sunday's News. Stay tuned for more stories coming up after the break. Welcome back. Car dealer Berroco Motors ran a competition from the 1st of July this year to the 31st of October for a chance to win an Isuzu truck. To be eligible, customers had to first purchase a truck to go into the draw to win another truck. The draw was conducted last Thursday at the Berroco Motors head office in Port Moresby, and after 4 months the campaign ended with 190 entries and the lucky winner announced. Markham District Development Authority is the lucky recipient. Berroco Motors will be in touch with the District Development Authority CEO Henry Millang for their prize, a fully kitted PMV to be presented in Lae. Local craft makers in Port Moresby had a chance to display their work at the Jackson's Bar at Gateway Hotel today. On display were a variety of items ranging from billums to hand-sewn dolls. Sellers said the location was conducive because it was safe and was also at the doorsteps of tourists transiting through the hotel. The craft market is in its infant stages with its commencement in September this year.
Just like tourism, the arts and craft industry is a sleeping giant in Papua New Guinea. Crafting and weaving is part of our culture and has been passed down through generations. Times have woven this unique talent from a pastime to a business activity. Now more than ever, more people are engaging in the business of art and craft, but with not much recognition from the government.
Plenty of Yumi or Papua New Guineans, especially all mothers, Yumi look more some Yumi pull up all and craft na plant is something where Yumi can work in very unique in different ways. Na me play about try lo sell more products. Blow Yumi out, but that thing where me play look na scale me a hap lo put more products lo me play inogat. Most government it can go down na look lo Yumi all mama. Na even all papa too plenty me talk a plenty good play work all can make him.
Like other mothers, Naomi uses her talent of sewing to make ends meet. She has started a unique type of sewing business. Naomi sews Papua New Guinean style dolls, wearing clothes designed in the colors of each provincial flags. She said her customers are usually expatriates who are fascinated by a creative idea.
Maybe work here on Gateway. Na maybe meeting one pla White Mary and walk sleep apartment or me play with friends. So me walk me start was housekeeping na me play a good friends. So time me walk go come lo apartment blame walk lo look me mo say me walk all white doll. I walk lo kilo sewing machine na me look go na me walk lo thingy mo sem. It me no sa looking or say you make at this la brown doll la. So me talk him Mary or sem please me like line him lo but me walk it doll. Now I'm talking about me play. Me can line him you. Now me talk me no like walking white doll, but me like walking more some PNG doll, color blossom, skin color blow me play.
Most of the people who turned up to sell said they were happy with the location as it was safe. The market is held on every last Sunday of each month. It started this year and is expected to grow next year. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News.
Once a Bosconian, always a Bosconian. This was the concluding phrase that the 90 graduates pledged during Don Bosco Technological Institute's 17th graduation ceremony held on Thursday. 10 students graduated with technical diplomas and 80 with a Bachelor of Education, technical in computer, electrical, electronics, machine fitting, and machining and motor vehicle technologies respectively. Theodore Tiney was awarded the MFM Technology Award, and Brendan Morris received the St. Dominic Savio Award. Stories making headlines overseas. When we come back, stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas, French police have fired tear gas and used water cannons on protesters. Officers were trying to protect key buildings by pushing demonstrators back behind security cordon. Protesters are angry at rising fuel prices and want President Emmanuel Macron to resign. Over the past year, the price of diesel, which is used in most French homes, has risen by about 23%.
This a reminder for France's president. Sparks can quickly ignite into flames. The Champs-Élysées, not a tourist site today, but an unofficial battleground. Protesters armed with paving stones, pushed back by tear gas, water cannon, riot police. This movement is about more than fuel prices. Its supporters tired of taxes, tired of politicians. Their slogans threatening revolution. The French authorities, a joke to some.
We have to pay for rent, food, insurances and telephone. What's left at the end of the month? Nothing. I don't want Macron to just cut taxes, I want him to resign.
Why is it always the little taxpayer who has to pay? We've been tightening our belts for 30 years. If it gets any tighter, we're going to explode.
The government said no protests on this street, and look what happens. They say ultra-right elements are responsible for the violence here, but many ordinary people say they also support this movement. This protest has brought together people from all political backgrounds, all parts of France. But it's a movement with no national leader, no formal structure. Its membership and its identity hard to control.
Raking and cleaning, that's what President Trump says would help prevent deadly wildfires like the one raging in California. He's crediting Finland for the idea, but the Finns do not like it.
Is RAGA the new MAGA?
Rake America great again.
It all started Saturday when President Trump offered this solution while touring the unprecedented fire damage in California.
I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem.
The only problem is Finnish President Sauli Niinisto says he never said that. Niinisto did admit he discussed the California wildfires with President Trump while the two met in Paris, but he says the idea of raking never came up. In fact, Niinisto told a Finnish newspaper he thinks raking came to Trump's mind after he saw some of the firefighters doing it in California.
I was watching the firemen the other day, and they were raking areas. They were raking areas where the fire was right over there, and they're raking trees, little trees like this that are not trees, little bushes that you could see are totally dry. Weeds, and they're raking them, they're on fire.
But President Niinisto says that's not the Finn solution to keeping their forests safe, adding the only raking he sees is in his own yard. Finns have flooded the internet with posts mocking the idea.
It's mandatory in Finland, we have to rake 2 hours per day. But hey, we got the greatest rakes in the world.
On Twitter, one user wrote, quote, off to perform my civic duty. Another posted, quote, not on my watch, hashtag rake news. And this woman said, quote, just this afternoon, I was busy meeting my quota. Trump may have been trying to offer a solution after initially criticizing poor forest management for the deadly fires, but he's been raked through the internet after proposing such an idea.
Anytime You're welcome back to Finland, Mr. Trump, and we can teach you how to rake.
The jokes keep coming. People in Finland and across the world continue to post using hashtag Raga and hashtag Rake America Great Again on Twitter tonight.
President Trump is dismissing an inconvenient report from his own government department, which presents a grim warning about how climate change will affect the United States. It's inconvenient because he doesn't seem to believe in global warming, but his scientists say it'll cost the economy hundreds of billions of dollars and damage the health and quality of the life of Americans.
This year, California has seen the most destructive and deadly wildfire season in history. More than 7,000 fires stretching the length of the state left at least 84 people dead. A new report has found unchecked climate change will cause more frequent and severe wildfires, storms, droughts and floods.
The scale of emission reductions that we're doing in the United States is not enough to really slow the pace of climate change, especially a lot of people around the world and a lot of nations look to us for leadership.
But the current leadership has all but dismissed man-made climate change.
Great climate, we're going to have that, and we're going to have forests that are very safe.
The report's authors don't think it's so great. They say by the end of the century, the US could be 5 degrees warmer, costing the country hundreds of billions of dollars, and that future risks depend on decisions made today. But the decision-maker-in-chief doesn't seem interested.
But what about the scientists who say it's worse than ever?
You'd have to show me the scientists because they have a very big political agenda.
6 months after Trump was elected, he pulled the US out of the Paris Agreement, a pact of nearly 200 countries, including New Zealand, aimed to curb climate change.
Any leader who does not take climate change seriously is doing a disservice to the public.
In a statement, the White House criticised the new report, saying it's largely based on the most extreme scenario, which contradicts long-established trends. And just this week, Trump tweeted about an early winter storm, writing, "Brutal and extended cold blast could shatter all records. Whatever happened to global warming?" His own scientists answered that question, saying it's already here and deadly, and without urgent dramatic change, it will be catastrophic.
British police are furious about the latest trend on social media. It's bystanders taking and posting pictures of officers being attacked, complete with a blow-by-blow commentary. It's not just the attacks, they take selfies as well, and it's not against the law.
On a Saturday night in South London, a police traffic patrol is struggling with 2 suspects, and a man sits in his car recording it on his phone, clearly enjoying the spectacle.
He's hanging on to him, look!
One of the officers is dragged across the road. His female colleague tries to help, but then the other suspect takes a run-up and launches a kung fu style kick at her. The policewoman is sent sprawling into the road, where a passing bus narrowly misses her head.
Oh, damn, he just kung fu kicked her in the head.
The officers managed to arrest one of the suspects, but they needed hospital treatment for the injuries they received here.
I'm getting this all live.
This video, meanwhile, was posted online.
Hey, girls, I thought I'd just stop it, just have a little watch.
Along with its commentary, and the police are furious.
We're telling people, stop filming us and stop putting commentary to it and putting it out on social media as if it's some big joke, because it's not. My colleagues' lives were at risk.
Instead of filming, why don't you ring 999 and say, look, there's a police officer here, he or she is under attack, can you get some more officers to help them?
There is no law against filming emergency situations or even assaults on the police, but the practice has been condemned in court, most recently during the inquests which followed the terror attack on Westminster Bridge. Passers-by took video that day, some even took selfies as the casualties were treated in the background. Technology has given us all the means to record evidence of wrongdoing, but some might need to think more carefully about what they do with it.
Astronomers may soon have a better understanding of what lies beneath the surface of Mars. NASA's InSight spacecraft is predicted to land on Mars on Tuesday. If all goes well, it will be NASA's 8th successful landing on the red planet. Dr. Morris Jones says the complex part of this experiment involves a seismometer, which will measure earthquakes in the planets.
This is a very different mission from ones that we've seen before, because this is an attempt to probe the interior of the planet, and we know essentially nothing of what lies beneath. We've mapped the entire surface, we've driven across the surface, but this time we're going down. One of the experiments is a big drill that's going to penetrate and measure heat flow and other conditions sort of a few metres below the surface. But the real experiment, the most complex experiment, is a seismometer, which will hopefully be the first seismometer to actually work properly. They've tried in the past to measure Marsquakes, but the instruments weren't well designed and they didn't work properly. So getting this right took a lot of time and a lot of money, and that's one reason why this mission was delayed, is that they had to spend so long just trying to get the seismometer to work. They're trying to go for a flat zone where that they can not only land safely but deploy their equipment properly, and it's also designed to give exposure to the solar panels so that they can get enough power. But the whole thing is they can target it very precisely. It's like firing a bullet, they can check its position, so getting a precise landing is not a problem.
You're at National EMTV News. We'll be back with some sporting updates, and Chukai Sports up next.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. 18 powerlifters are representing PNG at this year's Oceania Championships on the Gold Coast. 6 of them competed yesterday evening. President Michael Kingston says the team has worked hard to earn their place at the event and rightfully deserved medals. PNG snatched 5 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze. Gordon Eki files this report from the Gold Coast.
In day 1 of the Oceania Powerlifting Championships yesterday, in the evening session, it was dominated by female competitors from Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia and New Caledonia. PNG was represented by 5 athletes, Australia 2, New Zealand 2 and New Caledonia 1. Also on the event, PNG was only represented by 1 male athlete. But earlier on, the world former champion Linda Poulsen also competed, bagging the first gold for PNG. Athletes from Papua New Guinea performed extremely well in all categories, according to President Michael Kingston. The event ended with presentations where PNG snatched in total on day 1 of the event 5 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze. Now 2 selection trials for the Pacific Games will be held earlier next year, where a final team will be selected to send to Samoa 2019. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports, Gold Coast.
The 3-day workshop for the Team PNG Elite Performance Coaches ended today. The workshop was facilitated by the PNG Olympics Committee in preparation for the 2019 South Pacific Games in Samoa. Patricia Kiamo reports.
The 3-day workshop for the Team PNG's Elite Performance Coach aims to assist national coaches who are currently coaching at an international level, as well as those who are development or junior coaches. In preparation for the 2019 South Pacific Games, this workshop brought together coaches from different sporting codes to share ideas and concepts with some of the international coaches.
As I mentioned, building up some skills and mainly sharing some concepts that some of the best coaches, successful coaches around the world are using, and is me sharing with the national coaches these concepts for them to use in their own environment. I was in the US for about a month attending our international coach enrichment certificate program, and there were a lot of concepts for coaches that I had learned in US that I'm now passing on to our national coaches.
also highlighted during the workshop by the PNG Olympic Committee Games Coordinator Asiani Vagi were measures taken on anti-doping for the athletes and the coaches.
There has been some tests already. The measures we are taking, we would like all our officials to be aware of the process and of anti-doping. Also our athletes, we are using workshops like this one. So in this workshop, it's the workshop for the national coaches. So we've gone through the 10 anti-doping rule violations.
Team PNG's performance coordinator Chris Amini said the workshop also aims to produce quality coaches so that they can bring up quality upcoming athletes. Patricia Camo, National EMTV Sports.
You're at Trukai Sports. We'll be back with more sporting updates after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. 24 teams are competing in the Hohola off-season rugby league competition that is scheduled for 11 rounds. This week is round 4 with 7 more rounds remaining in the off-season competition. 8 teams will play in the knockouts before the grand final. Operations Manager Emmanuel Tallinn says players from each team have shown great interest since the pre-season. He added that the aim of the committee this year is to see more players from this rugby competition entering the Digicel Cup. PNG Hunters are professional rugby league players and they are well looked after, with their welfare a major priority concern for the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League. With almost half of the current team leaving for overseas contracts, PNG RFL maintains that the team is still the best team in the Intra Super Cup when it comes to players' welfare.
Players' welfare for the PNG Hunters in the past 5 years has been a top priority for the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League. One of the main reasons for this is because the players are considered professional athletes.
Players' welfare in a sport like rugby league covers 3 areas. First of all, when they come to play for a football club, they're leaving rugby league, they're leaving park football and coming into a professional environment.
PNG RFL Chairman Sandy Saka told media recently that those in the system and have gone through the system have had 3 major aspects of welfare taken care of as players.
So you look at remuneration and wages, how you look after them, that's number 1. Number 2 is their health and safety, whether we keeping them in an environment that puts at risk their health and welfare. Number 3, life after football.
Saka confirmed that the PNG Hunters players are the best looked after players in the Intra Super Cup competition.
With what we've done over the last 4 years, the number of players that have come in through the system, we put their welfare as priority. They are better paid. Our boys are better looked after than most of the other Intra Cup team players because probably they're full-time players.
But one of the team's struggles is balancing education and work with rugby league as a full-time job. Some Hunters players are professionals in IT and some are tradesmen and others have university degrees. Some take time off their professional careers to take up football, but they are well looked after by the club.
I don't think we've had a problem with player welfare in the last 5 years. One of our ongoing challenges operating a football team as such is to allow our players while going forward to mix school, work and football.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
The PNG Sports Foundation directs government sport policy and coordinates its implementation, working through its own programs and in partnership with other sports stakeholders. A new board for the foundation was sworn in on Friday, with Lay Biscuit Company owner Ian Chow as the new chairman of the Papua New Guinea Sports Foundation.
The Papua New Guinea Sports Foundation swore in a new board on Friday. The new board sees businessman and owner of Lay Biscuit Company Ian Chow as the chairman of the foundation. Present at the swearing in was the new commissioners, who will be the board members. They are John Capinato, Julian Leka, Chin Hiang Ho, Leon Baskins and Lady Ni Yumoy. Chow's first order of business is working with the business sector to pull in funding to maintain sporting facilities around the country.
We need more corporate partnerships to help us maintain and look after these complexes that have been built the Papua New Guinea government does not have unlimited funds, so I think they have more important issues like education, health. So sports will always be on the sideline, but it is still very important.
Vice Sports Minister Wesley Ramenai was grateful for the new board as he highlighted his observation the need to have stronger competitions and fair representation of national teams from the 22 provinces of Papua New Guinea.
When we want to pick a soccer team, it's got to come from the 21 provinces that we have and with the district and all that. Similarly, it goes to athletics and all that. So we need to really have a good system in place.
Chief Executive Officer of the PNG Sports Foundation, Peter Siamalili Jr., is looking forward to working with the new board, which is largely made up of professionals in the business sector.
So going forward, ladies and gentlemen, the organization stands to support, the organization stands to improve, and we look forward to the chairmanship and the guide management through the commissioners that we will look forward to a new era in sports in Papua New Guinea.
Freli Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
To Rugby Union, Australia has gone down 37-18 against England in Twickenham this morning.
In Will Genia's 100th Wallabies test, the Australians started well enough, going to the break at 13-all after a try to Israel Folau. But they did miss out on a possible 5 points after a shoulder charge just before the try line, which had coach Michael Cheika fuming. The English then came out strong after the break, scoring 3 times in the second period. Folau scored again at the end of the game to add some respect to the scoreline, but it was too late, and the Wallabies ended their year with their 9th loss, and that's their 6th loss in a row against England. Coach Michael Cheika said after the game that some of the referee decisions were not as he would have hoped.
The referees categorically told us that that should have been a penalty. So if that's a penalty, that one's 3 penalties. And the idea that the referee would say that our player ran in and shoulder charged the opposition is ludicrous.
Have you spoken to him yet?
No. Look, there's none of that happening. There's no point. It is what it is, and that's the way it goes. We still, right, I know you'll take that soundbite, but we needed to be better. We needed to attack more in the second half, I think.
What did you need to do better?
Yeah, I think attack more. I think we kicked too much ball away. And when we attacked and we had a bit more creativity, we looked really good. But I thought we kicked far too much ball away.
New Zealand hopes their world-class indoor arena will be a breeding ground for the next generation of stars, but it's already helping a current Olympian in his quest for Tokyo 2020.
Clark Johnston is a rarity in top-level New Zealand equestrian.
I am one of the only high-performance eventing riders based in New Zealand. Most are based in England.
The $3.5 million building is a massive boost to his hopes of contesting a second Olympics.
It's huge to have a facility of this calibre in New Zealand, close to home, that I can train and compete in. That's truly world-class.
The surface of the arena is the same as the one used at the London Games in 2012. Johnston's hoping that'll do him a favour, with the eventing team reduced from 4 in Rio to 3 in Tokyo.
Less and less people get to go, so that just adds to the pressure.
The upgrade could also keep the country's best riders in New Zealand for longer, with most, like husband and wife Tim and Janelle Price, finding success based in the UK.
Better facilities and a better support network for these riders, then they can do more from New Zealand, so they don't have to go over so early, but this just allows us to do a better job here first.
Youth Olympian Briar Burnett Grant is hoping it'll only add to her development, allowing the 18-year-old to train all year round.
It's just amazing to have a world-class arena in New Zealand, because it's really preparing so many of us for the future, and it's just international class, so yeah, it's awesome.
The centre destined to raise the bar for equestrian New Zealand.
And that wraps up Chukai Sports. We'll bring you the weather details after the break.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, a shower or two in Port Moresby, mostly fine in Daru, few showers in Kerema, fine weather in Alotau and Popondita. In the Mumasa region, fine weather in Lae, a shower or two in Medang and Wewak, rain showers in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, rain showers in Lorengau, showers and thunderstorms in Kavieng, shower or two in Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, and mostly fine in Buka. And in the Highlands region, a shower or two in Mount Hagen with a top temperature of 25 and a low of 11. In Goroka, Kudiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, some showers and morning fog expected. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwa Island to Kerema, to Yule Island to Hood Point and Samari Island, with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, including waters of Samari Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen, with waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits, including CSC Islands to Long Island, seas of 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Long Island to Medang, to Bogia, to Wewak and Aitape to Vanimo, to northern PNG Indonesian border, including waters of Manus and its western group of islands, with waters of New Ireland to East New Britain to Bougainville, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. A look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas in the Coral Sea. Seas slight with west to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas slight with southeast to southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots and isolated showers. In the Bismarck Sea, seas slight to moderate with northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight to moderate with southwest to westerly winds at 10 to 15 knots, with scattered showers and thunderstorms.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the way it is this Sunday, the 25th of November 2018. From the news team, pleasant viewing and good night.